Hey friends, Ash here with Gents with another niche fragrance review, continuing on with Niche Week, although I've kind of broken it up with a couple videos here and there, but I'm still doing niche reviews right now. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a fragrance from the house of Nishane, and this is a fragrance that I actually picked up in Montreal when I visited there with Manny from Cascade Scents a couple weeks ago. We went into a local niche and indie fragrance store that they have there called Etiquette. If you're ever in Montreal, definitely do check that place out. I want to give a shout out to Charles too for helping me out while I was there. Really cool place, tons of niche and indie fragrances to get your nose on there. Definitely check that place out if you're in Montreal. The fragrance that I picked up there is this one, Sultan Vetiver, or Sultan Vetiver. I'm going to go over the presentation on this like usual, and then let you guys know why I had to buy it then and there in the store at full retail. Alright guys, let's check out this presentation. First off the box, you have the name of the house and the concentration down here at the bottom. This is the spine of the box. On the back you have the name of the fragrance, ingredient information. Then you have this design on the other side of the box, which is where you will pull the box to open it up. So your bottle will sit down inside here. This is not actually padded. This is cardboard that runs around the shape of the bottle. And hopefully you can see here, but it's hollow on the inside here. There's no padding right there. Either way, the box does look nice, and it is quite sturdy. When you open the box, you will find this envelope inside, which has information on the fragrances in the house's lineup. It also comes with this little postcard, which has the notes of the fragrance. And here is the bottle. You have the name of the house, the fragrance and concentration here on the front. Nothing on the sides, or the back, or the bottom. The cap is a very heavy metal. It slides into place snugly, does not click into place. The atomizer here is very good as well. One thing I will bring up is that the cap is pretty scuffed up. Now I bought this still sealed from an authorized retailer at full retail price, so it's not like I got this from a gray market discounter where you could say, oh, well, that's what you get for buying from a discounter. None of that. It's not an enormous deal, but I'll bring this up to the camera so you can see what I'm talking about. The cap is pretty much dinged all the way around, and then there's also a ding on top of the cap as well. So here is the cap. Hopefully you can make this out, but there are divots and scuffs and dings all around the cap. Then if you look at the top of the cap, you can see it really easily, but there's a little dent right here. So again, not a huge deal, but where I did buy this at full retail, still sealed, brand new, you would think that it wouldn't have irregularities like that. Either way, presentation on this, very nice. That's the only small complaint that I have, is the cap. This one opens up bright and green with a slightly astringent vetiver, and then a fresh neroli and juicy bergamot behind that. It also has a little kick of pink pepper and a licorice-like anise note behind that citrus and vetiver opening. All those notes combining in the opening can give a little bit of that camphorous eucalyptus feeling, so just be aware of that if you're the type of person that really gets turned off by that note. To me, it just helps enhance the semi-brisk opening more than anything else. And it doesn't smell like a true eucalyptus. It just gives off maybe a slight impression of that. It might remind you of eucalyptus. There's also this natural smelling of sweetness that creeps out just a couple minutes into the life of the fragrance that really enhances everything and just makes it smell amazing to me right off the bat. It really complements the anise and the vetiver here. That little bit of sweetness kind of helps take the edge off. The blend here is quality. The ingredients here are quality. The sweetness, I believe, is coming from the tonka mixing with bourbon vetiver in the mid of the fragrance. There's also just the lightest touch of smoke from bourbon vetiver, and in this fragrance there are actually multiple styles of vetiver used, both in the top, the mid, and the base. Technically there's 4 different vetiver notes listed here. There's vetiver Java, vetiver Haiti, vetiver bourbon, and then just vetiver. So this is a vetiver fragrance that's trying to get across vetiver in multiple facets. It's trying to showcase the different things that vetiver can come across as. A little bit smoky, a little grassy, a little earthy, a little dirty, a little green, a lot of different things going on here with vetiver. Anyway, in the mid, when you catch whiffs of this, the tonka, the vetiver bourbon, all the notes from the opening, all of those blending together, it smells amazing. Just the mix of all those notes together makes this come across almost like a slightly honeyed vetiver. It comes across with the honeyed sweetness, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of dryness, a little bit of dark vetiver, a little bit of fresh vetiver, just a lot going on vetiver-wise, and that honeyed edge just is amazing. In the dry down, you start to pick up a slick brown leather that sits underneath the vetiver, provides a little bit of a base to it, and it's a really obvious leather note to my nose. Now, it doesn't overpower the vetiver. It's definitely a complementary note, but it's easily picked up. And that's providing a base in the dry down for a spiced, woody, dry Haitian vetiver that, again, like I've been saying, smells awesome. There are bits of amberwood and that creamy tonka from the mid that provide some sweetness, but it's not as prominent as in the mid. In the mid is where you get the most of that honeyed kind of feeling. In the dry down, it tapers off a little bit. There's also a little bit of earthiness in the dry down, but it suits the scent. It's not off-putting at all. It's not like an overwhelming, dirty, earthy kind of note. More than anything, to me, it gives the vetiver life. You have these constant changes from the opening to the mid to the dry down. It's always vetiver. You can always tell that it's vetiver. It's just all these different facets changing and moving with the other notes in the fragrance. Again, makes it feel like the fragrance is coming alive off your skin. And this is a fragrance that comes across smelling very natural. It doesn't come across smelling synthetic at all to my nose. It does have amberwood in here, which is obviously not a natural note, but the fragrance does not come across synthetic at all. This is, in my opinion, a truly fantastic vetiver scent. Easily in my top 3 favorite vetiver fragrances of all time. It has been compared online to the original Guerlain vetiver. I'm talking back in the 50s. Now, I've never smelled the original Guerlain vetiver before all the reformulations that happened to that fragrance, so I can't say, yes, it definitely smells like that, but that comparison has been drawn. I will say that this easily destroys the current iteration of Guerlain vetiver, but honestly, that's not really a fair comparison because Guerlain vetiver can be picked up really cheaply from discounters. This cannot. This goes for $175 for a 50 milliliter size, which is what I have here, extrait to parfum concentration. Guerlain vetiver, you can usually pick that up at discounters for about 30 bucks. So it's not exactly fair to compare this to that. Longevity on this one, really good, which would be expected because again, this is an extrait to parfum, 12 plus hours, no problems off my skin. And projection is strong off my skin for the first 2.5 hours, then it starts to become a more moderate scent. Overall, the fragrance's performance is above average, which you would expect, and I have no qualms with it whatsoever. This fragrance is going to be more of a spring and fall fragrance in my opinion, though truly, it's a fragrance that I could wear year round. It's not something I think you could pigeonhole into a specific season. You could adjust sprays up or down depending on the weather, whether it's going to be really cold, really hot, whether you're going to be indoors around a lot of people, whether you're going to be around nobody, whether you're going to be outdoors most of the day, whatever. Vetiver is the main note here, and vetiver in general, vetiver-based fragrances are very versatile. This one is no different. And going with that versatility, I think you could wear this day or night. It's something you could also wear casually or formally. There are going to be some people out there that are taken aback a little bit by all the different facets of vetiver that are in this fragrance. Some people who haven't experienced vetiver across its entire spectrum may not really be drawn to it. Because if vetiver to you is only Tom Ford Grey vetiver and that's pretty much it, then this may be a little challenging for you. To me personally, it's not challenging at all, but some of the earthier or grassier facets of vetiver may be a turn off to some people out there. This fragrance to me though, absolutely one of the best vetiver fragrances I've ever worn. Now, obviously I haven't smelled every single vetiver fragrance on earth, so I can't tell you this is number one, the end all be all, one vetiver to rule them all. But to me this just checks basically every single box I could ask for. The quality is high, the performance is high, it's unique, it's versatile, it could even pull compliments, and it also does have that exclusivity that niche fragrances can carry. I could almost guarantee you that the city I live in, I'm the only one that's gonna be rocking this. Now, obviously it's not gonna be like that for you guys in major cities, but where I live, I would be amazed if I found somebody else that had this. Of all the fragrance houses that I smelled while I was visiting Etiquette in Montreal, this one is the one that impressed me the most. So many fragrances from this house were just killers. I want to pick up more of them as soon as possible. So don't be surprised if in the near future, I do a few more reviews on this house. All right guys, that's gonna do it for me. One of the best vetiver fragrances I've ever smelled. Super pumped to have this in my collection. You're gonna be getting some heavy wear this fall. If you've smelled this fragrance or fragrances from this house, Let me know in the comments what you think about them, because I'm really impressed. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys again next time. Thanks, guys.